How's it going, everybody? Chadley here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at what I would personally rank the 4 Vault Hunters right now. Now, we did this video back in December, and obviously a ton has changed since then, so I really wanted to update this. That video actually got a lot of support, which really surprised me. I thought people were going to be pretty upset with what I ranked people, and obviously this is all just my personal opinion and how I feel they are. If your character is low on this list, do not be offended. I mean nothing by it. It's just I'm comparing these characters to each other. And right now, none of these characters are bad. Do not get me wrong. None of them are bad. So even my worst character on this list is not bad. Every single character can easily do the hardest endgame content solo if you have the right builds and stuff. It is really no big deal. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it, and probably the weakest character right now, which pains me so much to say, as this one is close to my heart, is Flack. Now, Flack right now is in a super weird spot. A lot of Flack's skills are bugged, like Rage and Recover, which should be his best healing skill by far, especially since it's a second to last tier in that green tree. It does less than what it says it does, and it's also just based off of missing health anyways, which sucks. So this skill being bugged is really, really bad. And then also we've had head count bugged for how many months now? Ever since 2.0 came out, this thing has not worked with Rack Attack, which has really sucked, especially now that action skills do damage. I would love to be able to just be constantly throwing out racks, but we cannot do that right now with that still being bugged. And then just in general, his health regen is just so weak. It's just not even useful at all in later Mayhem levels, especially with right now that enemies are bugged in dealing Mayhem 10 damage. It's a little insane playing as Flack. You get hit 2 times and you're at your health gate, and then you're stuck there. And then also the Stackbot class mod, which should probably be one of his best, especially for Fadeaway, is still partially bugged. They fixed it with damage over times, but now pets, they still reset it, so you can't really use a pet with Stackbot on the Beastmaster. It just is kind of dumb. But otherwise, he is insane for bossing / single target stuff. Like, even though Stackbot is bugged with pets, Stackbot with Grills in the Mist and Monarch, any boss in the game is just going to disappear. It is amazing how much damage he can do. And also, if your guys are rocking Gamma Burst, you can do any content in the game like it's nothing. It's seriously easy mode with Gamma Burst. And also, the build variety with Flack is awesome. You can do melee stuff, you can do Gamma Burst, you can use Rex, you can use Fadeaway. You can seriously use everything at his disposal. And also, all of the class mods he has are really, really good. Now, coming in at number 3, I'm going to have to give this spot to Zane. Right now, Zane's clone is just so insanely strong, and you can even AFK with it. It's crazy. And then also, if you throw a barrier on with that, you can just not take damage and also just deal tons of damage as well. And it's seriously just easy mode. But the only real downsides to Zane right now is lacking diversity. You basically are stuck into the same Seeing Dead type stuff that we've always been using with Zane, and then now the clone stuff, and that's really about it. And also the clone could be seeing some changes here in the near future. They might tone it down a bit. We're going to have to wait and see what Gearbox does, but it is a possibility. And right now, he really only has like a couple useful class mods. It's basically Seeing Dead and sometimes Antifreeze. Everything else people really don't use, and a lot of them you just should not use, like Techspert and things like that. You just really do not want to be using those on Zane. So I'd like to see some of those get a rework, and that's why he's going to be in our number 3 spot. Now, coming in at our second best Vault Hunter as of July 13th, 2020, is we're going to have to give this spot to Moze. Moze has gotten some insane changes recently, and now she's doing ridiculous damage. There's times she's doing more damage than Flack, which should never be the case. She is seriously doing so much. And also, a lot of the new guns added to the game are kind of focused around Moze. They do splash damage and are just good for her, like the Flipper. The Flipper is a new SMG from DLC 3, and it is one of the best weapons on Moze right now. And then Minesweeper is insane right now, the amount of damage you can do. And obviously, Iron Bear is insane. That thing makes any content trivial, and you can even AFK the hardest content in the game, like the Guardian Takedown. It's seriously ridiculous how much damage that Iron Bear can do right now, and it's just super, super easy to use. Really, the only downsides with Mo's right now is you can easily down yourself with Torg Cross Promotion. Since that got changed to add splash damage, it's actually a skill worth taking, but that increased splash radius can easily down you very often, so that's something you have to look out for. And also, just like Zane's clone, Iron Bear and stuff might be getting changed soon. Gearbox is looking into how to maybe adjust things if the community sees that to be fit, but otherwise, we really don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what Gearbox does with Mo's. Now, finally, the best Vault Hunter, still the same as back in December, is Amara. She is just insane at breaking the weird game mechanics in the game. So right now, 390 obviously got changed, so it's not quite as useful as it used to be. But Amara still gets some crazy use out of it. With it, we can just straight up insta-kill bosses with a phase grasp. It's ridiculous. And then with the new Groundbreaker Guardian rank skill, you can do some crazy things around melee builds. And with Remnant Orbs and Overkill, you are going to be hitting max damage like crazy. Obviously, Ties That Bind has been insanely broken for the entirety of the game. It's been unchanged. It also has the lowest cooldown out of basically all the phase grasp stuff, as opposed to like Fist Over Matter, which does way less damage than Ties That Bind, but it has almost half the cooldown as Fist Over Matter. So it's crazy how good Ties That Bind is. Obviously, Amara's survivability is through the roof. Her anointments are insane. The 250 phase cast and then 300 phase slam just is ridiculous amounts of damage, and she's also just easy to use. You can do all the endgame stuff super, super easy. Now, really, the only downsides with Amara is she basically just has like 2 class mods people use, Phase Zerker and Spiritual Driver. Everything else people really do not use all that much. The melee focused ones are definitely starting to get used a little bit more ever since the introduction of Groundbreaker and scaling melee, which is really nice to see, but for the most part, you're still basically only going to be using Phase Zerker and Driver. And then finally, my last reason for why Amara is probably not that great is she is just so annoying, especially when using like Spiritual Driver or basically anytime you get dotted. Just the chunking noise and her screaming is the worst. If you guys have played that, you know exactly what I'm talking about and why it's so annoying. But otherwise, Amara is easily the best character in the game still. But yeah, guys, that's how I would rank the 4 characters right now. Now, like I said, do not be offended if your character was not where you wanted them to be. Like I said, no character is bad right now. They can all do endgame content easily. It's just about how you build them and the ups and downs of each character. So that's how I'd rank them. It's just my personal preference. If you guys have a list that differs than mine, make sure you guys let me know in the comments and why you think that way. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this matter. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it to let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're about to close in on 30,000 subscribers. So guys, thank you so much for that. That is insane to me. But have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.